Hey, guess what, everybody? Go listen to the Break It Down show.
And now, the Break It Down show with John and Pete.
Mercado, huh?
Well, look, I texted, I Skyped as planned. We're rolling tape right now. So why don't we do this? Hey, this is John Leon Guerrero.
And this is Pete Turner.
From the Break It Down show.
So smooth, so easy.
Couple things happening today. Number one, it's Nico's 19th birthday. He's the guy who introduces the show.
Yeah, he's also the guy that leads all of the junior college pitchers in Northern California, or in California, in ERA.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's something. Let's see, what else is happening today? Oh, we're sort of getting Hollywooded right now by John Salley.
We got big timed.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's busy.
He's a busy dude.
He's in L.A. He could be caught in half an hour of traffic and not even really be late.
Well, that's true, but we just rolled tape anyway because I want to talk about the things that we were going to talk about with John Salley. Here, let me show you something, Pete. Mm-hmm. The thing that I wanted to do in order to get John Salley on the show, because we're both big fans of John Salley.
I love John Salley.
Me too. I also like referring to him with first and last name in the third person because he's got one of those names that you can say.
Yeah.
That's John Salley.
Uh-huh.
So, for those who don't know, he's a basketball player, retired NBA player, did 11 seasons in the NBA. I'll just do this intro that I was going to do for him.
All right,
he's got 11 seasons in the NBA. He won 4 championship rings. The only NBA player to do that with 3 different teams. He did it across 3 different decades in 2 separate millennia.
Robert Ory now has 3 rings with 3 teams.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, still though, that's a very, very select club. And both of those guys have played with the absolute best players in the last 40 years.
That's right.
John Salley's he played with Michael Jordan.
He played with Michael Jordan.
Isaiah
he played with
Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas. Kobe. Shaq. I mean, you can
pretty
count
good. And
Steve Kerr, Dennis Rodman.
Sure, yeah.
You know.
Dennis Rodman's a Hall of Famer. And so Steve Kerr's a role player, but look at what he did. You know,
That's right.
That guy could drain him. And then like Rick Mahorn, that guy played defense better than anybody. He played defense without even needing the ball. Like he would just be in your head all the time.
Yeah.
Squeezing your butt.
Yep.
All kinds of just anything to get you out of your game.
All up in your business.
Yes.
Bill Lambier.
Yes. All up in your business.
You know what I'm saying?
I still hate that guy, and I know he was doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
That's how good he was.
So, but the thing about Salley nowadays is he's arguably the most successful post-NBA player because he has had his number at Georgia Tech retired.
That's right.
Which doesn't happen in college very often.
No, and his teammate did too, Mark Price.
All right.
So that's how good that team was.
No kidding. In his post-NBA life, had hosted the Best Damn Sports Show period for 9 years.
Yes.
He had a TV show for 9 years.
That's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Would you say that Magic Johnson's got a more successful post-basketball career?
Okay, well,
but I mean,
maybe financially speaking, yeah.
That's the top of the pyramid, though, right?
Yeah,
there.
Absolutely.
Michael Jordan owns a basketball team, but you would never pick John Salley to be the guy that goes out and really, you don't think of him as being a basketball player that much anymore. You think of him as being a host.
Yep. That's right. He's a sports personality.
Yes.
And a damn good one. He's hilarious.
He's funny.
He's charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a hell of a message. And that's what we wanted to talk about with him tonight because nowadays he's a wellness advocate.
Yeah.
He does yoga every day and he's vegan.
Yeah, but he's not in your face about all that stuff, too. You know, he just wants you to eat more vegetables.
Yes, he is. He's in your face about it.
Well, I've seen him say the opposite, though, to just say, hey, look, if you want to eat something, but I just want you to get a little healthier, eat more vegetables. You know?
Okay. The flip side of that is he also says, I don't go to self-imposed funerals.
That's true.
So if you somehow manage to engage John Salley and you wasted time by saying, well, you know what, I have cancer and stuff, but I'm still going to eat these hot dogs.
Right.
He'll thank and excuse you.
Yeah. That's true.
You know,
he'll tell you that he doesn't want his fridge to be a morgue for dead animals, you know.
Things like that, yeah. Nothing has to die for him to live.
Yes.
And the experience that I had very recently, and this was totally a ploy because we got his number from Jay Moore.
Right.
He said, here, you guys need to have John Salley on your show. he was probably figuring that Salley wouldn't Hollywood us. But anyway.
I'm going to give John the benefit of the doubt.
No, I'm just
he's
kidding,
not,
man. I'm just kidding.
He's not Hollywooding us.
No. Well, here's why I love John Salley. He could even call 2 days from now and say, you know what? I Hollywooded you guys. You guys, the show is too small for me. And you know what? Hey,
Yeah.
You're John Salley. You're 7 feet tall.
There's a lot of stuff too small for you.
There's a lot of stuff. And I'm in good company if that's the case.
Yes.
But about 35 days ago, I decided to go vegan. Mostly at the suggestion of, well, let me rewind. Here's how this story goes. My glucose fast, my LDL cholesterol, my triglyceride, all that stuff was going in the wrong direction. And my primary care physician was reassigned, or I should say I was reassigned from my primary care physician because he became a specialist at what I don't quite recall. However, the long and the short of it is I was assigned a new doctor. And so I went to go get a checkup, and my new doctor walked in the room, and she happens to be young and hot.
Oh, that's the best kind of doctor.
And I was like, oh, really? You're going to make me stand up on this scale and be young and hot? So I tried to make jokes.
Should I take my pants off?
Yeah, you know what? If I'd have known, I would have taken these rocks out of my pocket and not worn my 15-pound boots. All that business.
Yes.
But aside from being young and hot, she's also very blunt. And she looked at my chart history because I'm a new patient. So she looked maybe further back than a normal doctor who has seen me for years and years might have looked. I don't know. But what she did say was, listen, it's not time for us to have this conversation just yet. But if you keep going the direction that you're going right now, we're going to have to give you some pills.
Yeah.
We're going to have to put you on some medication for the diabetes.
The diabetes.
And that was a bit of a wake-up call.
So you didn't go outside and order a banana split?
Well, no, I did not go outside and order a banana split. What I did, though, was I listened to John Salley.
Yeah. And you guys listen to Russell Simmons, too, right?
Yes, I listened to Russell Simmons quite religiously, actually. And in the shows where I was listening to John Salley, what I got out of it was that he really is sincerely vegan. And wants everybody else who's concerned about their health and performance of their body to do the right thing and live with a plant-based lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so I thought, you know what? He can't say no. He could Hollywood me, but he can't say no to being on the show if I try veganism for 30 days.
That's true.
So I did it. Now, I did it when you were on the road.
Yeah.
And you went on the road to Kansas City, so I don't imagine that I could have influenced you 100%. To do the total cold turkey veganism with me.
Yeah.
But who I did influence was my wife. She said, I'll do it with you. So we became vegans. And what we did not realize was that, holy shit, we were absolutely ready for it.
Huh.
And we started to embrace it immediately, began to cook things we had never cooked, began to treat vegetables in the kitchen in ways that we had never treated them. And discovered the produce section at the local store and just became romantically involved with the idea of eating only plants.
That's pretty cool.
Well, by day 5, I knew that it was not going to be something that I would have to endure, but it had become something that I had embraced. By day 10, I was positive based on the way that I was feeling in my body and my energy level throughout the day and all of the things that were, had to do with the way that I operated, that I was doing better. I started to lose a couple pounds. I wasn't doing anything differently except for my diet. I didn't work out more, i.e. I didn't work out.
I worked out.
And all I did was just change what I ate, and I changed what I liked to eat. And in doing so, not only did I do my 30 days, but I actually, had joked about eating barbecue ribs on day 31 or getting a big fat cheeseburger or going to Ruth's Chris and having a cowboy ribeye or something. Right. I didn't. In fact, day 31 came and went, and I didn't even really think about it. And then by the time I thought, ooh, you know what? I didn't go have that piece of cheesecake.
Yeah.
Or I didn't go have that cheeseburger. It was day 33.
Yeah, you didn't really seem to struggle at all. You were ready for it, like you were saying. You
Yeah.
were prepared to do the move.
And then I scheduled a doctor's appointment. And what happened at that doctor's appointment was fascinating. First thing was my young, hot, somewhat blunt, but more young and more hot than blunt even, doctor pulled up my results, and we sat together and talked about nutrition and documentaries about nutrition and the authors that she enjoyed reading about nutrition for like 35 minutes while going over my charts. And I asked her, like, you sure are devoting more time than people usually devote to these types of appointments. Why is that? And I had a feeling I was going to get, I knew the answer I was going to get.
Sexy time?
Which was, yeah, you are a beautiful man.
Oh.
That's not the answer I got.
Oh.
The answer I got was, you know what? I'm so proud of what you've done to change your numbers, because they changed very drastically.
Yeah, we're looking at them here, and they plummeted.
They plummeted. Not only did they plummet, but, I essentially have the lipid panels of a 25-year-old.
That's good.
Or myself at 25 after 30 days of a diet change.
These numbers are awesome, by the way. That's
the
incredible.
numbers are awesome, man.
I have the wood paneling of a 70s movie.
That's true. In and around his lower intestine, by the way.
To keep me safe.
So, yeah, it was rather fascinating to experience what I experienced in my veganism experiment. It was quite rewarding to have my doctor say, hey, man, you've made a terrific turnaround, and it's not one that I see very often. And it was, by the way, I lost 18 pounds.
Damn, kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Right.
And you have all your arms and legs?
I got all my arms and legs. I didn't work out anymore.
Just ate more vegetables.
Yeah.
Look
I
at
just
that.
ate only vegetables.
Yeah.
But I
that's
also
true.
learned a lot of new recipes. I got a new breakfast
Rhythm thing,
routine.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's terrific. And I appreciated a whole new, I started drinking my coffee black.
Yeah? How was that?
It changed my taste buds completely. So I'm really enjoying it. And I have John Salley to thank. So even if he Hollywooded us.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We'll get him.
That's all right, man. I still love John Salley because, man, frankly, in the work that he did on me, and he does this work anyway, so it's not like he pulled me aside and said, hey, John, here are some changes you should make. He said, hey, world, here are some changes you make, and I jumped on the train.
Do you want to give him a call on his cell phone?
I'm going to give John Salley a call on his cell phone.
If you like the show,
And you know you do.
send us some pictures of your movies.
Don't do that. Support the show.
There are 3 ways you can support us.
Number 1, go to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And leave a 5-star rating and review.
It helps with the show metrics and helps us get better placement. Number 2,
Visit our website.
www.breakitdownshow.com.
We've got an Amazon and an eBay link.
Same Amazon, same eBay, you know and love, but they give us a little kickback when you get to their site from ours. And number 3, leave comments about the shows that you like. We want to know what you think, how you feel.
Tell us how to make the show better. We greatly appreciate it.
Now back to the show.
We like movies.
Oh, we got video.
Man,
too.
rolling in the ride. How you doing, John?
What's going on, brother?
You know what? I gave you a beautiful intro, so I don't want to do it again because I know you got things going on. But the intro was all about your career, your post-career, the great time that you gave us with 9 years on TV, and then the fact that you are raising 3 beautiful daughters who are also athletes, and you're helping them and the rest of us in the world perform better with better nutrition.
Yes.
So-
Let me tell you, I like that. And I like that we even having this conversation. Everybody else is asking me about other people in the playoffs, people that, had no concern. And I'm glad that you even started off that way. Yeah, my main endeavor now, I played basketball for so many years. That was my life then. In 91, I decided to live forever. So, so I was wondering, since I heard the body can sustain at least 200 and something years, how could that be? So I thought about it, and what did they have to eat in that time? What were they eating? If you're a person that believes in the Bible, how did Adam live to be 173 years old with one wife? Can you believe it? No.
One
Wife we hear about. But
right.
What was he eating? And was he living according to how God told him to live? By eating the fruits and the vegetables and seed as their food, and the animals were him to name. Once God kicked him out of the Garden of Eden, it never said that Adam lost his ability to speak to the animal. I don't think it did. So he was compassionate. That's why he lived so long. So I wanted to be the same.
Wow. I had never heard you, in all the stuff that I listened to, I never heard you get so deep.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, well, not everybody. I decided to hold a lot back. And as I hang out with my daughter, Tyler, camerawoman, we're going to sneak in the Rihanna concert right now.
Oh, is that what's happening?
Tickets. I don't have any tickets. She was like, Rihanna's here. I got to see her. I was like, I don't have any tickets. I don't know if they know me, but we're going to act like I'm in Brooklyn. We're going to get in somehow.
And just bogart your way in.
Yeah. But it's funny when you say that. A lot of times when people ask me questions, they're shallow. So I give them the answer to go with the question.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something, man. Here's what I'll recap how we got to you. We got your number from Jay Moore. I told him I was going vegan, and I was going to do it for 30 days just to reverse some things that were trending in the wrong direction.
Every time I see Jay Moore, he takes his shirt off, and he shows me how strong he is. And he wants to show me he's been doing push-ups and drinking his water. I've been preaching or talking about health and wellness, I don't know, for years.
Yeah.
They all have heard it. And I'm glad, I'm glad they all hear it. And I'm glad, he gave you my information.
Well, the thing is, when I decided to go vegan, I don't know how this happened because I've been a card-carrying fat ass my whole life. I'll tell you where to get good barbecue in most cities. I'll tell you where to get good pecan pie in most cities.
Wait.
Uh-huh.
You mean you tell me where to get barbecue because we know it's not good.
Okay.
You tell me where to get pecan, but we know
right.
certain one.
Right.
All right.
So
take the word good out.
Okay, I appreciate that correction. But what has happened is that when I just decided to do it for 30 days, I said, hey, this is what I'm going to do, Jay. I figure if I go vegan for 30 days, John Salley will not say no to being on my show. He can't at that point because I've taken the hook. What I didn't realize was that my wife did it with me. And in the process of doing it with me, we learned how to prepare meals together. We learned how to cook vegetables we had never cooked. We had learned about flavors that we had never embraced. And then I had always told her, hey, you should listen to this Russell Simmons episode of this and that. Every time Russell Simmons come on, I try to listen to Russell Simmons as well. And she said, okay, I'll check out Russell Simmons. And then she listened to The Happy Vegan, his audiobook. And now she's done, and now I'm done. And we can't turn back now.
No.
I don't get drowsy in the middle of the day.
Once you know better, you should do better.
That's right. My energy level has changed. The way that my body performs and the way that I interact with it has changed. And not only that, but I had a checkup with my doctor yesterday. And man, the change that has happened within my digestive system, my cholesterol, all my numbers I was borderline diabetic. She said, I hate to say this, but the next time you come in here, we might have to have a conversation about some pills.
Wow.
Yeah. Instead, let's see. I got my numbers here. My triglycerides went from 310 to 215. My cholesterol went from 230 to 156. And let me see here. I mean, I just, not only that, but I'm feeling it. So,
and you were preparing meals with your wife.
Yeah.
So that means you had some quality time with your wife.
Well,
that might be a stretch.
Yeah. I would like for you to meet Pete. He is my co-host.
Hey, man.
Hey, Pete.
How are you? Good to meet you.
But here's the thing about Pete is that he went on the road to Kansas City, and he was going to go interview LC from LC's Barbecue. So he did not embrace the vegan journey with me to the length that I did it. He's eating more vegetables now, But he doesn't know this, but this was also an excuse for you and me to ambush Pete because I know that he is – now, tell me about what you're doing with the military because Pete was a spy in Afghanistan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Snitch. I mean, hey, Pete, how are you?
You better watch it.
Old Fred Lee Evans found me on Facebook and started talking to me about coming to the base after he started seeing some of my posts. And then he put me with a retired Colonel Butcher who had embraced the lifestyle and one of his top aides as well. So they had me go to Fort Lee and I led 1,000 soldiers while I was involved. We're doing yoga in the morning. So we did power yoga as their workout at 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. And I went through all the different foods because that's where the Culinary Institute for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. So they also have a show that's like Iron Chef. They bring the best chefs from different bases around the world and they compete. But they compete with flesh, so I wouldn't be involved. But the whole time, the chefs were making all vegan food to the point where Colonel Butcher and his aide now become vegans.
Wow.
And if you really know, if you talk about special ops, they found out that the special ops, they had a different table. They all were raw foodists.
Oh.
And he paid attention to that because he was in charge of special ops. And the reason is if you don't need meat in your system, and if you can eat vegetation and you know the vegetation you can eat,
you can survive anywhere.
You can survive anywhere.
Wow.
And you want your mind clear. You don't want the blood of an animal or that inside it mixing with your blood. You don't want that animal fat inside of your blood clogging up your arteries, getting to your heart, would stop your brain. You need to constantly be in full awareness. So if you are of the earth, and sometimes they have to be, they can blend in better. So they figured it out.
Wow. That's fantastic.
That's wild.
So imagine if our military, which 70% of our national debt goes to, if our military stops eating animal flesh and starts focusing on a plant-based diet, then we have well-filled, fit soldiers prepared to defend our honor and our way of life.
Wow.
So it works. They'd be more compassionate. Maybe they won't have so much post-traumatic syndrome. We lose a soldier every 21 minutes to suicide. Maybe if we could get into that brain and get into yoga and breathing and getting oxygen back into their brain, into their blood system, and massaging them back into society, it might work.
Wow. That's deep. That's heavy.
That's twice for me, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Man, what's going on? I feel like we're getting all the scoops. I mean, I've heard you on a lot of shows, man, but it seems like we're going to a depth that that you don't seem to go into when you're not behind the wheel.
Yeah, it must be that homegrown I'm on.
Let's talk about that because, man, I enjoy recreation. So
Right.
In the midst of our vegan journey, my wife and I got invited to a beautiful winery up in Healdsburg. We're about a half hour from all the wine countries up here in Northern California. So we went up to Healdsburg to a place, and one of the guys who was there brought, he knew that we were on the journey, and he's not, but he brought snacks and made sure that there was a lot of vegetables and a lot of stuff we could eat and we could enjoy the day. And when we busted all that stuff out, the winemaker who was there, his name is Greg Hauk, Hauk Cellars, and I'm plugging him even though he's not a sponsor because he's going to be on the show, but his wine, he doesn't use, I don't know what you call that process, but they use a fish batter to take the cloudiness out of the wine.
So it's called the finding of a wine.
The finding.
And some wine is called the vegan vine wine.
Right.
The vegan vine, we have a Cab and we have a Chardonnay. You can go to your local Whole Foods and ask for it.
You guys are in Whole Foods now.
Yeah, especially up in Northern California. We're pretty saturated in Northern California.
Did you guys
But
get?
we don't make the wine in the fining of the wine. No animal products. So
Okay.
no isinglass, no casein, which is another word for milk. No egg whites.
Egg whites, right.
In the fining, we use bentonite, which is a clay, in the old-fashioned way of refining wine anyway. We do it the way it's supposed to be. Right outside San Jose in St. Martin, and it's called Cola Shots Winery. So that's what the label is, and that's what makes the wine for me.
Okay. Now, that fining process, for our listeners' benefit, is when you make wine, it's cloudy. There's particulate matter in there, and what they do is they dump a bunch of substances in there that are magnetic to that particulate matter to clean it out, so that when you look at the wine, it's visibly clearer. That's it. That's all it does. It doesn't really affect the flavor, but what happens is, in that process, you leave behind some of that stuff that you throw in there, which is to clean out the particulate matter. And since those are animal substances, that makes most wines, not vegan. So if you're looking for vegan wine, look for vegan vines in Whole Foods.
Are you guys in Trader Joe's yet? I know you were working on that.
No, I don't think we're going to be in Trader Joe's.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Trader Joe's.
I said so, too.
Man.
I tried for 3 years, and I'm not going to try anymore. I'm okay with certain restaurants having it. Now I think some other grocery stores.
Yep.
I went to visit Albertson when I came up to San Francisco, and they did like a 1,000 bottle buy to see how it would sell.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still in that.
Hey, where can we go to skew the numbers? Where did they put it? We'll go buy them out.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not above that shit.
Yeah.
We'll do it right now.
Hey, as a matter of fact, I'm telling you where to go. Go to Whole Foods.
Oh, okay.
Go to Whole Foods and say, I want the vegan vine wine.
The
You want vegan wine? No, I want the vegan vine wine.
Yes.
And they said, well, we don't have it. I said, well, order a whole bunch because I want it all.
I want all of it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we'll do it. We love to support that kind of stuff.
Thank
I
you.
mean, now that it's a part of my lifestyle, I'm roping Pete in. Pete can't help but do it now.
Yeah, I was willing before. I was just going to go on the road, and I know it's an excuse, but I don't have the tools yet to eat on the road well as a vegan. So I'm.
Whoa. That's not true.
No, I said yet, man. I'm working on it.
No.
Teach me.
No.
No,
That's not
by
true.
tools he means mental capacity.
No, that's not true. What cities are you going to? Unless you're going to cities in the middle of the Congo, brother, we have at least 5 to 10 vegan restaurants in every city, in every state.
Wow.
At one time, the number one place was Utah. So with vegan restaurants. So you can't say that, and then it's Portland, it's California, but
And we live in California, John. Let's face it, man.
Yeah,
we live in California. We can do anything we want here
Yeah.
when it comes to healthy living.
But when I'm in Wyoming
And if you
on
stay
80,
in a really good hotel,
Yeah.
you can tell them, hey, I want all vegetables grilled and put some sauce on it, not olive oil. I don't want olive oil, I don't want butter. Make me something. And the chef will make it, especially at Hilton's and Westerns.
Don't mess with my emotions, John Salley. What's wrong with olive oil?
Well, if you're going to get cold pressed olive oil and you're going to put it on, I'd rather you just put it on. If you want olives, I'd rather you just get the olives and chop them up. Most olive oils that you're getting, that you're buying for cheap amount of money, has been heated and pasteurized, and anything good within it is gone. The reason you need the olive as opposed to just the olive oil is the fiber.
Right.
Each olive is letting out a certain amount of oil into your bloodstream that's good for you.
Okay.
But when you sit around and pour olive oil on your salad, you're pouring fat on your salad because the oil is fat.
Yep.
And all it does is slow down your blood. Now, it also is good for your liver, but that's if you're doing a liver cleanse and you're going to drink like 12 ounces of it with a series of herbs. Besides that, I don't use olive oil unless I'm putting it in my daughter's hair or using it in tanning lotion.
Wow. Man.
There's some olive, but you just got to say, like some olive oils you can take that's going to be different. It's going to saturate different, but you got to look for those. You can't just go to Costco and buy the big bottle because it's big and it's pretty.
Yeah.
I expect, like I tell people, if you're going to have to cook with oil, I want you to use like a tablespoon of or 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil. It cooks at a higher temperature,
Yeah.
and it's good for your liver and it's good for your kidneys.
Okay. I can get with grapeseed oil. I thought you were just going to break my heart and tell me there was something inherently wrong with olive oil that I didn't know about because I've been using olive oil for the last 35 days.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try to move you away from that.
Okay. Now it's the same though.
And if you want to cook something, you feeling a certain way about cooking something, I tell you what you do. Use coconut oil.
Okay. I can get with coconut oil too.
Yeah, use coconut oil. But the real way, if you want to cook something, heat up the wok, throw some water in it, throw your vegetables in for like 20 seconds, move them around. Another thing is like grapeseed oil and some amino acids you get Bragg amino acids.
Yeah.
And this is how I do it. I use like a tablespoon of grapeseed oil and 2 tablespoons of the amino acids, and I throw it inside the pan with the water. I rinse it all around, and I pull the spinach or the kale out. I don't really cook it long because I don't want to change the DNA of it. I just like it heated.
Okay.
It's like called a hot salad. It's an easier way of doing things.
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Now,
and when I took oil out of my diet, I'm now 244 pounds. I drink wine.
that's lean and mean for a 7-foot man.
Yeah, it was the weight I was in 1992. I think I was 1994. I was 245.
Wow.
So now I'm 1 pound lighter than I was when I was 28 years old.
Not bad.
29. Well, how
Not
old
bad
was
at
I?
all.
Goodness, I don't even know how old I am now.
You were playing a lot of ball back then too, so you had a reason to be lean back then.
Yeah.
I don't
They try to bulk you up. They think being big and having big shoulders and all that type stuff. I remember George Gervin giving people 60 points, and I think he weighed 175 pounds.
Wow. Let me ask you about the homegrown. Because, hey, we're plant-based, man.
We are plant-based.
What might people say in criticism of the homegrown for somebody who leads such a happy?
Which prefer? Right, I'll take that.
You want preferred?
Yeah. I'm sorry. One more time.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Take care of your business. I know you got to get into this place.
There you go. Go ahead. Say your card.
Go ahead.
How come people don't say, "Hey, would you like preferred?" Hey, wait a minute. You're John Salley. Of course you like preferred. She acted surprised. You said you wanted preferred, and she was like,
You know what I love? I love that I have some anonymity back until I stand up.
Sitting in the car, perfectly anonymous.
Yes.
Talk to us about the maybe performance criticisms that people have about weed.
Well, I always say if I would have smoked weed when I played, I'd probably still be playing.
Really?
Yeah, it has totally changed my life and that's the forum behind me. Everybody, in case you want to give you a little view, that's the Great Western Forum.
There we go.
No other interview has ever had the Great Western Forum behind it.
It's a scoop.
And if anybody needs to know, I won a championship in there
That's
in 1989. I also lost one in 1988.
Never mind that. Never mind that.
All right. So I literally, I found out because I had to get my feet operated on. When I found out that, you can buy breasts for $8,000, but I can get straight toes for $14,000, I got my feet done. And they gave me Vicodin.
Yeah.
And I was doing the Best Damn Sports Show, and I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk. I couldn't get my words out, and they were laughing, and I was like babbling. So I go to my doctor. He said, "I can give you a medical marijuana," and I was like, "Yeah, right." Well, I got it, and it changed my life. And then I got into the business because I'm really cheap and I don't like buying stuff, so I like to own it, so I can have you buy it and I can enjoy it like the wine.
Uh-huh.
So so that's that was it. I got into the business. Me and Mike Epps went and got our license together. And,
That's
I
hilarious.
did. I took Mike Epps with me to a guy in West Hollywood, and it was called 1-800-GOT-WEED. And the doctor, and we went and got licensed, and that was 2005 or 2008 or something like that. 2006, exactly. It's
Okay.
2006. So since then, I've gotten into business. I have a deal, and I bought stock in a company in Canada called Canopy, and our product is called Tweed. That we make, they grow in Hershey. Anything that closed down in Canada, that was a big business. These guys taking over the warehouse, and they now grow marijuana in it. And they trade on the Canadian Stock Exchange at $800 million a day or something like that.
Jeez.
Close to $80 million a day or something. I don't know, some crazy number.
Big business.
They hired Snoop as the face of Tweed.
That's smart.
And
Why wouldn't you?
I went and obtained the rights of Tweed USA. So I'm making clothing, Weed the North, all kind of things, sweatshirts and hats and all things with Tweed on. I'm also making suits. So what is just the attitude? It's the whole, I'm moving it from not trying to move it. I like it where it is, but the hippie mentality is moving from being a hippie with docksiders and walking around with a joint and looking scrubby to you can enjoy this lifestyle. It's a better option than alcohol. Like that's how I got over in Colorado. It was a more intelligent option.
Right.
I also got involved with a company called Smoke IO, which is a delivery service right there in San Francisco and in Nevada and Oregon. So you get the app. It's called Smoke IO. You can just put the Smoke IO, whatever. And it's like, the other guys, but ours is a little bit better. And it gives you all the dispensaries and how. So I've gotten into the business. It was amazing when Uncle Cliffy up in the Portland Trailblazers opened up his dispensary. I think that's a nice move, but I really think a lot wouldn't happen if Johnny Manziel was a weed smoker. He'd still be playing football.
Yeah.
That's a true statement.
Yeah.
That's a true statement.
Until they caught him, though. I mean, they still test
No,
for that.
he'd still be playing. Remember, in football,
That's right. Yeah, once a year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the crazy thing, and this is what I don't understand about the rules. You teach a soldier to kill. You teach a football player to hit somebody with all of his might.
Yep. And refine that skill.
And then when they are not at work, you want them to act like you, even though you have trained the brain to attack. So then all those football players get in trouble when they drink that liquid courage.
That's right.
And they get
And they
big
go
and
in
bad.
attack mode.
They're in attack mode because they have been playing scared. They just don't show it, but they're scared every time they got to go up against somebody, especially when you get to the pro level, because everybody is as good as you.
That's right.
And this is now your job. It's not fun in the backyard.
It's your job, and people hurting folks.
Right. So you can have every beer ad and tequila ad, and you can bring in bad food and all of that with cheerleaders wearing close to nothing around savages, and you don't want them to smoke weed. You want them to eat the weed, smoke the weed,
Please.
weed IVs.
Uh-huh.
So you can calm the savage beats down until it's time to let him out of his cage. 16 to 18 weeks a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
It would benefit the league.
And humanity.
My friend Kyle Turley is taking psychotics because of his situation. Psychotics.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he doesn't kill his wife and
That's
run his four-wheeler into the ocean backwards.
Man.
Right.
My friend needs the medical marijuana.
Yeah.
It needs to be allowed in all of sports.
Wow.
It does.
You know what, man? I really feel, honestly, slightly rushed because I want to get you in that forum. You and your daughter got to go to this show. Will you do
You
this?
can't get me in the forum. If you can get me in the forum, I would have been on time.
Will you do this with us again?
Hey, you call me next week, we'll do it every week.
All right. I'll call you next week. Yeah, I know you're
Call
not
me
going to
next
do it
week.
every week with me, but
Next
we'll do
Monday,
it next
we
week.
do it again.
All right, we'll do it next Monday.
And
We
you guys
just
enjoy that
barely
show.
scratched the surface. Enjoy
All right, go to
Rihanna.
John Salley on Instagram, the John Salley on Twitter.
That's right.
Fingers.
The John Salley. Ladies and
Peace.
gentlemen, thank you, man.
Stay cool.
All right. Let's keep going for a second.
Yeah.
This show quickly transformed from, hey, we're getting Hollywooded by John Salley
Yeah.
to,
Oh, shit, I forgot.
man. And, Jesus, what a great guest.
Yeah. I love John Salley.
I'll tell you what, I loved John Salley 30 minutes ago. I only love him even more now.
It's hard to be mad at that guy, you know?
Yeah.
And he's talking from a place of knowledge and passion and compassion.
That's right.
And it's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah, it sure is. So because of John Salley, I have embraced the vegan lifestyle. He has exposed me to a great thing for my nutrition and my health.
For sure.
A great thing for my, actually my pocketbook, man.
Yeah, saving
I'm
money.
eating out a lot less than
cool.
I ever was. Although it's Nico's birthday, he should be home like any minute. And we're going to go to Sandoval's and celebrate
Nice.
his birthday. What are you doing? You want to go with us?
Sure, I'll go, yeah.
So,
I do want to say this about the special operations guys and everything else. When I go out with those dudes and we're rolling around, right? They'll
kill a lamb and eat it on the spot.
Yeah, man, it's too austere to have that kind of mentality. It's a luxury of the first world to do that. And maybe this is unfair to say, but I know a lot of operators. A lot of snake eaters is what they're called.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of people. And when you go to a village and they're like, hey, we killed a goat, guess what you're having that night for dinner?
That's right.
You're going to have goat curry, and you can't turn it down. I've had medium rare pork.
Right.
Not because I want it, because that's what's
Because you
offered.
can't turn it down.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it's not a luxury you can have when you're deployed, just to be candid about that. It doesn't mean it's not a good practice to start with, but once you're there, the rules are different.
Yeah.
They're just different.
There's just no rules at some point.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And you have to,
Well, the first rule is to survive.
right.
And
Right.
saying,
And those
hey,
guys are going to survive.
have you ever cooked a goat in that pan? That's just not going to work.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
Yeah.
But when you're in training and you want to be fit with that stuff, yeah, just cane your body. Like, gastrointestinal distress is the norm for us when we're deployed. Not because it's meat, just because of the conditions that we're in.
Right.
So,
Which is really just distress on everything.
yeah.
Gastrointestines included.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Yes.
I think to Sally's point, it was one of those things where he saw guys who were concerned about optimum performance.
Yes.
And in the circumstances where they could achieve the best with the best fuel,
Yeah.
that's what they chose.
Yeah, yeah.
So, his daughter, I'm not sure if that daughter is the one who is he's got a 12-year-old daughter who's got like pretty close to world record time in a couple of things. I don't know what she's a track athlete.
Oh, she runs? Nice.
She runs, she throws stuff,
She hugs
shot
stuff.
put.
Yeah.
I don't know what she does,
Okay.
but she's a splendid athlete. I mean, one of the things I wanted to ask him about genetics
Uh-huh.
versus nutrition.
Uh-huh.
And not necessarily versus, but let's face it, I'm making nutritional changes that I find terrific and that my body's responding to beautifully. But I'm never going to play John Salley
No.
in an athletic event of any sort.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and at that level,
Unless the motherfucker tries to steal my wallet, then I have to run after him. But
hang on to his leg.
yeah, exactly. And
Hope
I'm
someone
just
else
gonna
comes and hang on the other leg.
Exactly. Yes, precisely. So
The Jeff Van Gundy defense.
if
I mean, at his level, he played at the elite level, and there was a time where he was no longer in the top 8 good people on the court.
Right.
Because it was so high. So I can see that the fuel you put in at that level. Look, Darryl Strawberry was wonderful, but you can only survive on Coke and beer for so long
yeah,
before the league.
well, you can.
Yeah.
I can go all day.
All day. Yeah.
Um,
But the league is going to correct you. Or you're going to get corrected out, like Johnny Manziel struggling
Sure.
with that, But
And everybody eventually
Yes.
gets
Oh, yeah.
corrected out. But he's talking about living 200 years.
yeah.
And that may be, I'm not a believer in certain texts, but I'm a believer in all texts. And if there is a metaphor for long, healthy life that is communicated in a certain text by saying that somebody lived 400 years,
Yeah.
then okay, I'll get the point.
Yeah.
And if the point is that, there are beings that achieve a long and healthy life because they practice modesty and moderation and things like that, okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Now, John Salley just got off of Skype with us. We don't typically do video Skype because we have the audio clipping and stuff that we experienced here. So usually we turn the video off. But when he was doing the video Skype with us, he fucking looks great.
He looks great. He does.
I mean, that's a 51-year-old man.
Yeah.
And he
he's
looks
51.
as good as he's ever looked.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Russell Simmons is fucking aging backwards.
Yes, he's Benjamin Buttons.
That
Yes.
guy looks younger now than he did when he sold Def Jam the first time before he bought it back at half price. But so there's something to it, man.
There is something to it.
And I did mean really to corner you and bamboozle you in this conversation because, man, I think we Christy and I experienced such a health benefit from it. I mean, we feel it.
Yeah.
That anything that's that good for me, man, I want to try to impart upon you.
Yeah, well, I'm down. You know that. My learning curve is steep still.
That said, you and I are going to go to
stuff.
Sandoval's with it. And we're probably going to mess it up somehow.
I mean, I want to eat more vegetables. That's my mantra for right now. And if I can, I want to swap out tofu. But if I can't, I'm still going to have a taco. I wanted nachos so bad today.
Hey, nachos.
And I know there's vegan nachos.
I've enjoyed and made vegan nachos.
Yeah.
And if we had it, we'd be like, wow, man, this almost fools me into thinking I'm having nachos.
Well, I'm excited about burgers.
But the tacos,
tacos are good?
We had vegan taco night, and they're terrific.
Yes,
so,
yes.
We're just finding which ones are good.
Mm-hmm.
The nachos are getting there. We'll figure that out. But the main thing is, I think that when we have an opportunity to improve our diet, man, we're at the age where we should. And when we have an opportunity, like tonight, where we might cheat a little bit, well, okay. As long as we don't do that too often. I also want to plug Herbie, my son Herbie. He runs the Chipotle. That's his store. He runs the Chipotle in Vallejo. And Chipotle is wonderful for vegan options.
It is. It is. That sofritas, you should just order that one time. Just mix it up and do it. You're not even going to know you're not eating meat. You're not going to know.
Yeah, I have that burrito. It's my favorite. I mean, there aren't many places where I can go out and enjoy a meal that I know is vegan. Everybody's trying to backpedal. I mean, there's a place here in town that you and I have gone to many, many times.
Uh-huh.
And I remember one night we went in there and you almost killed somebody. That motherfucker had it coming too. Anyway, the options in that establishment, and it's the place that we like. I don't want to say their name because I don't want to discourage people from going there, but the options there, if you're vegan, are slim and none.
Yeah. There's a level of ignorance there where you can get people to go out to eat more if you offered that stuff, and I get why they don't. It's hard to have that stuff prepped and ready to go if you don't have a specific clientele. But you have to have the stuff available to get that clientele. So
that's right.
There are a lot of vegan restaurants around, and they do well. For everything I'm hearing, they're killing.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes to them.
I think that's true. So anyway, you've been listening to the Break It Down show and the glorious episode that we had with John Salley. He said for us to call him next Monday. I'm holding him to that shit.
Yeah.
Because if we actually sit down and do this, we could really, we scratched the surface of shit.
Yeah. I'm ready for him next time. I mean, we really didn't even get going.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk to him again. I do want to say this. Thank you to all of the folks in the UK who listen to the show, because we've got a big bunch of people.
Do we really?
There. Absolutely.
Right on, UK.
So, London, all you guys out there.
UK is my middle initial.
See, there you go.
I'm just kidding. It's F. It's
But really,
FUK.
Man, no,
Thank you,
not. We love
listeners
those
in the
guys.
UK.
Yeah.
No, my middle initial's F.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's naturally near UK.
Okay.
In my heart.
All righty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we thank you guys for listening. We're paying attention. We see that you've been checking us out. There's a lot of great shows in our
I'd like
back
to acknowledge our
catalog,
one listener in Azerbaijan. It's like there's one guy in Baku with a Break It Down show t-shirt, and whoever that is, We love you, man. Right on.
Yeah, we do. We love all you guys out there. And we've got a lot of new fans out in Kansas City now because of Craig Adcock. And Craig Adcock's going to come out here and cook for you and blow your mind.
Man, Craig Adcock, listen, I'm sorry that I missed that trip. I'm sorry that I missed meeting Craig, but I can't wait to meet him because that show was terrific.
Yeah.
His outlook on life, man, this is the thing.
Yeah.
We've had people on our show for many different reasons because they have a myriad of accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
But the common thread, I want to say, is that everybody that's on our show is a person that sort of lives a little piece of the life that we strive towards.
That's right.
And, John Salley is a perfect example. But so is Craig Adcock.
And Craig Adcock puts his effort. He works hard, but he puts effort into the things that enrich his life.
That's right.
And he's not worried about the stuff that doesn't.
He seats one table of 8 a night because he can rock out that one table.
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, would you like to get bigger? No, not really.
Not really.
I'm going to rock out this one table.
We're going to be here for 4 hours. We're going to break all the restaurant rules. One
That's right.
table. They're going to sit here all night,
Man.
It'll be good.
Yeah. That's terrific.
We love Craig.
Hey, right on, Craig. Can't wait to meet you. Right on, Kansas City, for listening. Who I want to plug in Kansas City is Barry Jackson. We're friends on Facebook. He's got a radio show out there, and he's a fan of the funk. So, yeah, we met over a thread on Facebook about Mick Gillette, who we love and miss. And so if you guys are in Kansas City and you are our listeners, you should also be Barry's listeners.
Check out Barry.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was our show with John Salley. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to get John Salley next week as well. Motherfucker says for us to call him. We're calling him.
We're calling him.
So I'm dangerous. Once I get your phone number, once Pete gets your phone number, it's over.
Hooks in.
So, yeah, man. Thank you, John Salley. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Stay tuned.